you ready for this?
Round and round. I can be the dance machine. Don't you say it's club routine. Step to this and take my hand. Catch my eye to understand. See me walking in the sun. It has not yet begun.
Connected. Channel switched.
Good evening, all.
Sonia's just flying around where we are, or she's going to participate because she ain't going to keep up. Bell 205.
No, probably not.
Well, she's
Okay,
20 miles away, so she's disassociating herself from us. Oh my.
It's the sensible thing to do. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to sort a drink and I'll be back.
Roger that.
User disconnected from your channel. User joined your channel.
Radio check, can anyone hear me? Yeah, I just had to reboot TeamSpeak. Could hear but not transmit.
Boot and reboot went out on a boat. Boot fell in. Who was left?
Okay, I'm here. Let's try sort this stuff out.
Get it sorted.
Don't know how to fly around the area yet.
I've been flying around here I was actually flying around here setting up a flight when you decided you were going to fly here in this area, so I already had all the scenery.
I asked, because Cyber said he lives around here. I asked him where it was good to fly, and he said, well, there's only really 2 airports, so pick one. And I thought, oh, do you know what? It'd be interesting. I'll go and have a look. And then I got here and I did the thing where I connected the ortho program to flight gear, so it just gathered it as I flew over it, which I've never tried before, and I was amazed that it worked. And I was just flying around and refreshing the scene, and I thought, oh, this is gorgeous.
This whole area is a drop dead cool.
Yeah, I never tried that option. I've always done it via the route.
I thought, look, I'm just going to give it a go because I don't have much time, but I need to leave it gathering scenery, so I'll give it a go. And it works. If you can get the PHY thing working, it's exactly the same. You just set a port on flight gear in the launcher, and then you run the command and tell it to connect, and it gathers it as you fly over it. And then if you want, you can it refreshes it itself occasionally, but if you just want to check how it's doing, you can hit refresh scenery from the debug menu, and you can all of a sudden just the orthos pop in, and it's like, fuck, this works.
I noticed your file sizes were quite a bit smaller than we're used to dealing with as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that's some of the areas we're going to fly around. They don't have great resolution. I've told it to get good resolution files, but it didn't seem to have them, so I'm not sure if that's just the SAT data for the area. It wasn't. Well, I'll be honest. I used the default settings in the application because I just copied and pasted it and thought it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the ones I do, I think the width of the flight takes 10 miles either. From the 10 miles it incorporates, so it probably is gathering more than we actually need, but sometimes we go off piste.
And I opened the .dds files that Ollie has posted, and I opened the ones that Alex has posted, and the ones that Ollie posts are huge. I mean, I don't know what the count is, but they're huge compared to the ones that Alex got, so that might be the difference as well.
Yeah, I did. I told it to gather it at like the second highest, whatever it is, 16, and so they should be massive, but for whatever reason, I guess it hasn't got them. So, well, it is.
Yeah, some places in the world it actually produces ones which are like a quarter the size of the normal ones. Probably whatever's
still looks
available.
Great.
Okay, we're live on Twitch.
Video is recording.
Actually got an email reminder about Twitch.
That's pretty good.
I think I used it once when my system was playing silly beggars.
Okay, everyone ready for a little bit of a brief?
I was born ready, just not for this. Let her rip.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to FG UK Flight Night. A little bit of an Adriatic adventure tonight. We are starting in, and I really hope I don't butcher this, Ljubjana, which is as close as I can get in beautiful Slovenia, and I've enjoyed very much gathering the scenery over here for the past few days. we're going to have a little flight up to the northwest. We're going to be heading along the border with France, Italy, and hopefully seeing some nice scenery as we go along. Midpoint's going to be roughly at Venice, and then we're going to head up through the lakes to final destination a little bit later on. As we depart here, we are going to fly runway heading for a while, just while we get ourselves sorted. We're going to be heading up to about 9,000 feet, if you need a reference. 9,000 feet, 170 knots, and shortly after, probably within 2 minutes of departing, we're going to take a GPS FMS heading, likely something around sort of 320, 340 degrees. We'll see what we look like at the time, so we can head towards Bled and have a look at the nice nice lake down there. We'll enjoy the flight. Weather, I have currently got it at the border of a high pressure region. Time is afternoon, which might get us some nice sort of sun coming down effect as we head towards the final section of the flight. And I think that's about it. Any questions? What have I missed?
Border high, afternoon, climbing to 9,000. Boo boo boo. I think we got it all, mate.
Sounds good to me. And if everybody's ready, I'm going to start rolling. We're going to start moving. Let's see what happens. Golly, climbing like a banshee.
Makes a change normally in the Aero Commando, normally sticks to the bloody runway like glue. Have you had a chance to look at the sound files on the new version of the Aero Commando? I don't get any sound at all now on the new old one either.
No, I don't get it, and I can't work out why, but I will work it out at some point. Thank you for reminding me, because I had forgotten. Okay, I'm trying to accelerate to 170 as quickly as this will let me.
Do you say 170 or 270?
170.
Whoa.
You alright there, Ollie?
Yeah, just set me autopilot. Yeah, I've got a new USB hub, proper professional looking one, which has solved a lot of problems.
Is it one of the powered ones? Or I don't know. I never work out if they need to be powered these days.
Yeah, well, I've got loads of cheap, nasty ones off eBay, and this one's more really solid metal case, 10 USBs which you can turn on and off, and it's got a 60-watt power supply, and it seems to cure a lot of my problems.
Fingers crossed.
Well, so far, yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago, I couldn't bloody. It was crashing, doing God knows what.
Just trying to hang in there, man.
Yeah, well, I have my gaming machines on the same desk as my work's laptop, and I had sharing KV switches, and that seemed to be always causing problems. And then I got quite a few hard drives, and then you got all the flight gear sticks and rudder pedals and throttles and stuff.
Duh. It's beautiful here. Beautiful.
It's really nice, isn't it? Beautiful scenery. And Andy and I were having a look the other day because we thought, well, this got to be gorgeous. There's got to be some really nice beaches here because it's on the Adriatic. And we were going on Google Earth, but if you ever look, Slovenia, I don't know when countries were chopped up or whatever, it didn't seem to get any beaches. It's got a few towns that just end on sort of concrete slabs into the water, but the poor country has no beaches.
Lots of churches, lots of castles.
There is lots of castles and churches. I did notice that. Yeah. Before I grabbed the orthos, I flew around, and the first thing that pops up is just all the churches and castles, and I guess they're into those around here. No, not doing too bad. There's quite a lot of other aircraft around. I guess they're in Italy. We'll probably find them a bit later. I'm struggling to hold 170 in the climb. Sorry about that for anyone who's behind me, but we're getting there.
Okay. It's all good.
This lake down here are somewhere around our 10, 11 o'clock now, and bled. I don't know if anyone saw the Grand Tour, the European Adventure, but that's the one where they ended, and it's on this gorgeous final shot of the lake in the dark. I'm pretty sure it was the last Grand Tour.
Yeah, I don't get that. They're saying that they could be cancelling Top Gear on BBC.
Well,
Yeah, and they're still refusing to say what happened to Freddie Flintoff.
I had some kind of accident. To be honest, I haven't watched it since them two idiots were on it.
I've watched it a couple of times, and it's just not been as good. But I'm surprised they haven't said what happened, what the accident was, because it clearly caused him a lot of disfigurement.
Well, it might be sort of court cases and compensation.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Because the other guy was lucky to still be in one piece. Richard Hammond, accidents he's had. I'm doing 170 knots, but I seem to be leaving everybody.
Yeah, I'm slowly climbing. As soon as I get to 9,000, I should be able to make it. We're going to make a slight right turn now, anyone who's with me. We're going to make a turn about 30 degrees, turning right to 328 degrees.
Right, 328, your mark, sir.
Follow me, turning right 328, just so we can make the right turn before we hit this peak that's coming up on us. Look at this scenery, this is impressive.
Alex is at 9,000.
Yeah, nearly there. Should be able to accelerate soon.
Headlights are on, bro.
turn them off for your comfort.
Well, being the queues are getting on about politics, I think the only thing with Slovakia is they've just elected somebody who's a bit of a pro-Putin, Donald Trump mode.
No, I'm not really familiar with the country, much to my shame, because it's, you know. Gorgeous.
Yeah, well,
I wanna go there.
I listened to that podcast, Rory Stewart and Alistair, call it, and they talk about politics all around Europe and stuff, and who's been elected, and I think somebody who's got in who's another one of these populists.
Yeah. Very much. There's going to be a left turn at some point. Hopefully we're going to just skirt these peaks that comes up. About 1 mile to a turn while we're overhead Point Nipple. Wasn't chosen intentionally for the funny name. For once. Normally I'd choose it for the funny name, but it was just the closest one on this occasion. Main left turn, 264 degrees.
Follow you, sir, 264.
And we're at nearly 170 knots, so that's good news.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, this looks nice.
So what's everyone been up to this week?
I've had to mend my pistol this afternoon.
Oh my.
Yeah, well, in the UK, it has a 12-inch barrel and what I call a weenie bar, which sticks out of the pistol grip to make it 24 inches overall. And it's only on mine; it's only glued in, and it keeps falling out for the second time. What makes it illegal?
That'll be a problem.
So I've had to clean all the old glue out and clean it, polish it all up, and re-glue it.
Nice therapeutic task, though, I'd imagine.
What's the new heading? I seem to be going north for some reason.
260 we're on currently. Yeah, you've left the country.
I'll catch you up.
Catch up. Yeah, and that thing you'll catch up. You can catch up easy, mate.
Yeah, you will. But what you been up to, my friend?
Cleaning up, man. Just cleaning up. We accumulated tons of extra food we're never going to eat that's been piled in the basement over the COVID lockdowns, and I've been packaging and taking that stuff to the food bank for people that don't have food. So I got my last load all bagged up and ready to rock on Monday, so that's good.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, well, I'm in a similar boat. I have an house full of cleaning products. Mother used to buy 20 bloody bottles of this and washing powders and stain removers, and the other thing I've got rid of somehow is digital hearing aids.
Oh my, those are not cheap.
Well, that's it. I don't want to just throw them away because it's just a waste.
What did you say?
Hey?
Yeah.
You said digital hearing aids.
Sorry.
You muppet.
I'm just funny. I can't help it.
Yeah, but looks don't count, brother.
A bit of an echo.
I had to. Andy's not here. Yep, I've been playing with firearms as well, same as Ollie has. I accumulated way too many things that I don't need, so I'm culling the herd.
Yeah, well, I'm just having to do my firearms license renewal, so they want to know a lot more stuff now than they used to do in the past. Do you play on Facebook, social media?
A little bit.
Checking up what you say, and also it's a lot stricter now on the medical. But I have a prone rifle, match rifle, which I haven't used for 6 years since I went blind. But I can't sell it. Whereas when I got it 10 years ago, I could have just sold it to somebody else in the club, because nobody does prone shooting anymore.
Really?
Yeah, well, when I first joined the club, everybody did it, and be 18 people out on a Saturday morning, and you couldn't. Now there's about 3 people left.
Slight right turn. We're going to go 295 degrees.
Roger that.
Well, I just got an house full of all the bits, because when you buy a second-hand rifle, you pick up, you inherit all the bloody trials and stuff what people have bought, and sometimes you have a box full of bits and you haven't a clue what the hell it's for, to try and get rid of it.
Well, I'm afraid Stuart isn't watching this evening, guys. It's his final night on holiday.
Oh
And,
my goodness, that
He's,
sucks.
he's watching the show. He's been talking to the entertainers, and they've told him that he needs to sit on the front row tonight, but not be suspicious. So I've told Margaret if anything funny happens to him, we need to make sure it's recorded and shared with us.
Boom. Fair is fair.
One thing with Stuart is I can't picture him as a B for DJs. Doesn't sort of fit the...
Well, he hasn't been doing any DJing while he's out there. He said he didn't want to be swamped by fans. I know he does have a sense of humour sometimes, doesn't he?
Well, that's what I mean. The two things don't seem to go together to me.
We're going to try and adjust our route a little bit to follow this valley that's just about on 11 o'clock, and that'll take us down to the river that we're going to follow down to the Adriatic Sea. So I'm going to adjust slightly left to about 290, although that is a guess. We're probably going to need to go further.
Just right here with you.
Maybe 280. Maybe 270. About 270. Now I know that this gets said a lot, but I've been playing with my flight gear settings this week to try and sort some of the frame rate issues out, and I don't know what it is. I've managed to get the settings at a point now where it looks gorgeous and it just runs more frames a second than I've ever seen in flight gear.
Yep, I've got the same phenomenon where I tweaked everything up, and I mean, I got all the bells and whistles running. Everything looks fine. It looks like $1 million, and I was even running now with all the scenery and aircraft in here. I'm still running 25, 30 FPS, but earlier when I'm flying myself, I'm running 80 to 100.
Yeah, I've been doing exactly the same. I've got it throttled at 30 FPS right now, and it doesn't really get below that. And I've been flying all week, and it's just been pegged at 30. And before that, I had it unpegged, and it was running at 80, 90, even 110 at some points. And I don't know why, because it looks as good as I can ever get it to look.
Yeah, this looks as good as I've ever seen. Somehow that last nightly release, when We got to kick in Rogue and the Keister every now and then and get him involved because that really helped. Especially where multiplayer is concerned, he seems to have more, I don't know, a more rounded view of everything works, you know, make it, well, it works just fine. Yeah, but not over multiplayer. Come on.
Yeah.
You need to publish them settings because I'm getting about 20 to 8 up and down.
Oh, really? Okay, we're going to make a slight left turn. We're going to follow this valley that's just turning off to our left here, okay?
Roger that. Following you, sir.
Look at that. I mean, that just looks amazing, doesn't it? That looks fantastic.
It's... I never thought FlightNight would get to this point.
Just think what we could do if we could make the cockpit textures look this good.
Oh my god. It's Maverick.
Mav's flying his F-16.
I don't have it.
It's in the default FlightNight hangar these days. Excuse me, my voice just broke. It's in the default FlightNight hangar, so it should download itself, I think. Everyone's following good. We're going to be wiggling our way through these mountains as we try and find the route down to the Adriatic. We could have done this at low level, but I just don't think you'd get to quite see the scale of the scenery as well.
No, but you don't get the panorama of the whole thing because that's what makes it the interaction of all these valleys and peaks and the runny down bits and the jumpy up bits, and oh my goodness, this is bad. I was frankly pretty stunned when I jumped into Slovenia. Just, hey, I'm gonna check this out, man. Whoa!
Yeah, Cyber sent me the airport, and I loaded it, and I thought, oh, this is nice, but it, you know, I wonder what it'd look like with orthos, and then. Yeah, we're making a right turn here to follow this this valley with the road in it. But yeah, he sent me the ICAO code of the airport, and I thought this is good. And you know, I wonder if FlightNight would make it look really good with the orthos. And then the orthos just came in, and it was just this is some of the best stuff I've seen.
We've flown here before, and I had the orthos from before. So as soon as I loaded it up, I had orthographic scenery, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, we've done a few little flights in this area, haven't we?
well, I
Sorry,
save
guys, I'm
everything.
off to your right a little bit.
I save everything.
Yeah, well, I'm running out of disk space. I'm having to delete stuff after we've used it. I've got my main C drive is a 1 terabyte SSD, and them card ones. M2 is it? And it's like 90% full of scenery.
Well, have you got another M.2 slot?
I've got a smaller one which is half the size, but that's got me X-Plane on it. So possibly I could get a bigger one of them, but
or lose the X-Plane. Oh, I'm just kidding.
yeah, well, I got plenty of external hard drives. I can easily just copy it across, but because I think they're not that expensive really, but just getting the right bloody thing. Like always, you get a new machine, you say, this is going to be just for, like, you know, flight simulators only, nothing else. And then, you know, 5 minutes later, you've got 20 million programs running and all your data and all your normal stuff.
Yeah.
And I end up using it for bloody work because we got Windows 11 and I can't do anything on it. They've locked everything down. And my main job is looking at pictures all day long from apprentices from their work. And with Windows 11, if you double click on a picture, all I get is a black screen. And all I get from our IT people is it's standard.
I haven't got Windows 11. I'm eligible for the upgrade, but it says that my
Avoid it.
well, it says my PC is not doesn't meet the criteria, but I've got quite a good PC, and I looked into it, and it's because I've got Linux installed on another hard drive, and apparently, if you have a Linux install on any hard drive that it detects, it won't let you install Windows 11.
Well, the other,
Now, what's that all about?
I think they don't like the idea of you being able to play with settings that they don't want you messing with.
and the other thing for my works laptop is, you know, if you right click on a file and you normally get stuff like print, copy, paste, you don't get that on Windows 11. You get a new intermediate window with a load of crap on what you don't want to use. So you've got to press another button to get the options you want to use, like the standard, you know, like the standard. You know, if you're on Windows 10, if you right click on a file, you get all the list of options which you use all the time. But you've got to press two buttons now to get the same thing on Windows 11.
That's a pain.
Well, it is. I think you can change it if you've got control over your own machine, but because ours is all, you know, we're not allowed to do anything with it. Can't even burn a CD now.
Oh, we're going to descend down to 6,000 feet. 6,000.
After that, kind of following you, I caught up again. Tried to get away from me, but you couldn't.
Ah, you're a sneaky one.
I think it was Stuart saying it's just it's like, was it Windows 8?
I'm not sure. Windows 10's the first Windows I've used in about 10 years. I'm honest, I like it.
That's worked fine for me.
Simple. Plug and play. Windows.
It is. It's the you know, I installed it because I needed to use it for there was some program I needed, and then I thought, oh well, perhaps I should just use it for, you know, Sims and games and stuff like that. And so I installed a couple, and then I ended up just sort of using it for everything. I only use Linux for the stuff that I really need to use Linux for, or if I just need some distraction-free stuff because I haven't got anything that can distract me on there. It's all just work. So depends what mood I'm in, but generally I boot into Windows these days because Windows 10 it hasn't done me dirty. It's looked after me.
Yeah, I think Microsoft has finally figured it out. Don't mess with it. Just make it wake.
Well, I used to like playing with Linux. Well, the only problem I hated with it, you couldn't bloody tell where anything was, you know, when you install stuff. But then it whacked out my bloody main data drive, and I lost about 3 years of files.
That's frustrating.
Bloody was. I installed it about 3 times on the old machines, and it's rejuvenated them and made them runnable. So I thought I'd do a dual boot on my old main machine, and it decided to reformat my main place where C was and install Linux there for I don't know what reason.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you got to install it over a Windows install, it's not happy. You need to install the Linux first and then the Windows on top. Otherwise, I've never had great experiences doing it the other way around.
Well, I've done it twice on older machines and it's worked fine. But they were older machines with nothing on worth getting upset about if you lost it all.
We're going to continue down to 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet.
Right behind you.
I don't know what's happening here. Going to my things, I'm at 13,000 feet for some reason.
Get down
so you are.
here.
What does it say on the
12
pilot
and a
list?
half. 11 and a half.
Yeah, it says you're
10,500.
You're 10,000 something now. You're coming down, but you're too high, man. You're too high.
Looks like Mav's lot are all off to our right at Aviano.
Flash. Flash.
We have one viewer on Twitch. Welcome, Twitch viewer. I'm embarking on a big project this week. I'm going to make a pie.
Ooh, see it.
I'm bored. As a northern man living in the south of England, I am bored of the low quality of pies that are available, and I've had enough. So I've decided I'm going to start making my own pies.
Fruit pie? Meat pies?
Meat pie, meat pie, probably.
Look at you!
Yeah, pork pie, meat and potato.
Yeah, well, I've been on that low carb diet for 2 years and I don't have much pastry nowadays.
Oh,
I've
I'm
been
sorry.
experimenting making steamed puddings using coconut flour, and there's another type of flour that has very little carbs in it, but it's very weird. Coconut flour, yeah, you only put a third of the flour as per normal.
Dan, how does it taste?
Actually, you can't tell the coconut. And there's another weird type of flour for this keto type diets, and it's some kind of bean, something beginning with L, and tried that. But it's got funny colour to it, you know what I mean? That's a bit of a sort of browny yellow colour. But yeah, it sort of works.
And is it hugely more expensive? Is that one of the downsides?
Yeah, for a bag of this coconut flour, it's sort of like £3 for a small bag. Whereas if you get a supermarket's own brand, you get 50p.
Yeah, that's the issue. I've had my daughter wanted to make some recipes. That she loves baking. She's only 9, but she loves baking, and she wanted to try a special recipe. We need to get some special flour, and normally, like you said, a kilogram of flour is 90p from the supermarket, and we go through a lot of it when she's baking. She bakes 2-3 times a week, and we had to get this special flour, and for a small bag, I think it was 350 grams, something like that. Voodoo for you Americans, that's about like 2 cups of flour. It was, I think, £6.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was offensive. It was really offensive.
Tell you what I saw last night on went onto one of these sort of cable types, and it was how do they make it, and it was bread in tin cans in America.
Really?
Yeah, on the East Coast, they've been making it since the early days of settlers, but they still make this stuff, and it's bread, but it's got molasses in it.
So it's more like cake.
Yeah, and they actually cook it in the tins and they seal the tins, and when you open the tin, you slice it into like a cake, yeah. But it's really dark coloured, but it's meant to be bread.
Yeah, they can do it. I mean, you can do that with Voodoo. They sell biscuits in cans, don't you? Anyway.
I don't eat that kind of stuff, but probably.
Yeah, well, I think it's that. I think it works because of the sugar content mainly. Because there's like a thing in Ireland a few years ago, wasn't it? They tried to Subway. Someone tried to sue Subway because it was American recipe bread, which according to the Irish rules is technically cake.
Yeah, it's got way too damn much sugar in it. That's why I try to eat as little of that as possible.
Yeah, well, they made this stuff starting off with molasses, milk powder, water, and sucrose. So it was a very well preserved stuff.
I bet it tasted delicious though.
Oh, I bet it does. Gotta admit, I do love myself a Subway sandwich back in the day, but
B&M was the brand, if that makes any sense to you.
It does not. Like I said, I'm pretty sheltered. I've always eaten pretty much. We go to the grocery store and buy veggies and meat and stuff and just make everything from scratch. We really never used to eat processed food, but now it's just me, so I'm eating garbage as I start to eat again. So canned.
At least you're eating, man.
Yeah. That's what my doctor said. Hey, just whatever, just eat. So, I mean, microwave burritos and canned soup and stuff like that. And somebody, who is it else that told me, that's what normal people eat, brother. It's like, whatever. I'm used to like an egg over easy and some gluten-free deli bread and some toasted for breakfast with a little cream cheese and yogurt and a skim milk and stuff like that. That's shit that I usually eat. Lunch, great big ass salad with some turkey or something.
Oh, do you know what you need? You need beans on toast. That's what you need.
Ooh, beans on toast, man. That sounds good.
There's loads of videos on YouTube of Americans trying beans on toast because I don't think you're used to the beans in the way we have the baked beans, like as a breakfast food.
Oh. So they're done. They're not just beans. They've got they're sauced and spiced and
Yeah, tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, yeah. You need beans in the tomato sauce. They're really bloody good for you as well.
oh,
You
beans
must
are
have
superfood, man.
Must have Heinz beans in America.
It's
American
expensive
brand.
for them to get them, yeah. No, it's expensive for them to get Heinz beans, I think.
I don't know that I've ever
Thought
had
it was
those, but
American company.
If I can get a recipe, and I will, watch this, because I love beans, man. I'm a bean freak.
You need baked beans on toast, and that'll be. I think that's life changing.
Life altering.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're going to come to the coast, and then we shall turn right. We're heading towards the beautiful city of Venice.
Looking to my starboard side, watching your commander, and the sun's on your starboard side, high, reflecting off the water below us. Whoa, dude!
Make a little right turn as we come over the beach.
There was a good picture on Facebook yesterday or today. Picture of a P-47 where the shell had gone straight through the prop.
Wow!
And the guy who was flying it, he got it back to base and landed it. And the picture of him sitting just behind the blade. It's got a dirt grey hole in it, and all folded back, from the. So the shell came from the rear of the aircraft straight through his prop blade.
But that was a bumpy ride back.
Yeah, well, I think them radial engines could take a lot, couldn't they?
Oh, those double wasps were almost indestructible.
They're very complicated turbo supercharger system. It run all the way around the back of the aircraft, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was normally behind the pilot, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you look at the back of this aircraft, there's all kinds of vents and stuff.
This autopilot's trying to kill me again. I've suddenly gone down to.
Oh yeah, you're down a little bit. It's alright, we're going to be landing relatively soon. Perhaps it was just preempting that.
Just started reading one of James Hammond's books on the. It's called The Big Week, and it's all about the bomber command in October '43. And it's doing so far. It's just a chapter on the fighters, a chapter on the bombers and the Germans.
I do like the way he writes things, but I haven't got his new book yet. The one on Casino.
Yeah, well, I only buy them when they come into the cheap book shop in town.
Best way to do it.
I've got the Brother in Arms one about the Sherwood Foresters, the tankers.
Yeah,
I have another one. I haven't read it. It's one of the RAF 100 Years where he wrote as well. That's all colour pictures. I have to find that. I don't know where to put it.
I haven't read that. He does a really good one on the on General Slim's 14th Army in Burma, which is normal. I've got quite a lot of books on that. 'Cause it's a theatre of interest to me. Family connections and stuff, and all of the books on it are very, very dry. But James Holland, he makes it interesting, thankfully.
Yeah.
It's a good read.
Yeah, I think my great uncle, and I never got the story. I only picked bits off my mother, and then everybody's dead now. But
that was weird.
he was survived Dunkirk, then he got sent to Burma, and I think he was either taken prisoner or he managed to pretend to be dead and didn't get taken prisoner. But as I say, I think he had a bit of a rough war. All I could find out about my granddad, my granddad was a butcher, so early part of the war he was on searchlights in England, and then when after D-Day it was like butchering for the army as they moved through Europe.
No, that's a gig to get.
Yeah, when you're feeding people, you don't get shot. They want to get fed.
Yeah.
It was always my claim to fame in the Civil Air Patrol or in the bands that I worked in later. It was like, here's the deal, guys. I'll do all the cooking. You do all the equipment stuff. And everybody was always a fair trade.
Yeah, you always end up on the good end of the day if you're cooking for people. They always appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Because most people appreciate being fed well, and most of them don't really have the inclination to take, what have we got? We got cans of this and cans of that and blah, blah, blah. I got eggs, I got corned beef, I got a couple of taters. Watch this.
There's Mr. Tuck's about to come in from our right. And a Spitfire 5B.
Ooh, see it?
Gonna cut across slightly to our right here, across the inlet, the whatever. I'm not sure what the Italians call it. I'll be honest, flying around here this week, the first time I've ever really flown around Venice, and topographically it looks very different to what I expected. I'm not sure what I thought Venice was, but not this.
Yep. I echo your feelings exactly.
We only see it from the ground normally, don't you? The tourists in the...
Yeah, the little island in the middle. I didn't realise it was just like a small island in the middle of a inlet. I don't know what I thought it was. Yeah, I don't really know what I thought it was, but not just a little island in the middle of a busy inlet.
Well, they made it, didn't they, from scratch? They put wooden piles in and mud and made it into so they could build on it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have their reasons for doing that, but it seems there's lots of land around.
I think it was just protection and cheap.
Don't know what they're doing. They keep saying that it's going to end up disappearing soon, don't they? Because of all the floods.
Well, they made a big barrier to stop the surges, and it folds down into the seabed, and when they need to use it, it comes up, and it's all in segments which are like tear shaped, and they all interlock and make a barrier to stop the flooding.
Kind of like the same principle as the Thames barrier sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's a lot bigger. It goes across a big area, and but you can't tell it's there until they actually. Cause it's not them. On the Thames barrier, you got them islands with the big shrouds. Yeah. There's none of that. There was a series on BBC 4, I think, about protecting Venice and stuff.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
It was on a couple months ago.
We've got the airport coming up in a little bit. We should be able to be visual with it shortly. That's where we'll be having a half-time break.
Going straight in, and we're going to mince about.
We might as well go straight in if we can find the runway.
Shows the active runway is running from, what is it?
About 1 o'clock down to 7.
Yeah, if we keep roughly this heading, we should be able to turn left momentarily and get it down. I can't quite see the airfield yet. It should be off our left.
Yeah, well, I've got the glide pass indicators on, and it's just coming up to it now.
Yeah, we should be. Okay, if everyone wants to make a lazy left turn.
There it is.
Yeah, I got visual with it.
Try to land in from this direction, sir.
Yep, I'm going to make a slight orbit to the right, and then I'll come in straight down the left-hand runway. Park out on the apron. Looks like there's some nice hangars there we can form in front of.
Down rolling. Park over here to the right, sir, did you say?
Yes, please. Nicely done, everyone. Very neat, very accurate. Not at all usual flight night.
Even blind sows occasionally find an acorn in the dark.
Wow, that was profound.
That's from the Lost and Found.
And there we go. Okay, everyone, grab about a 5-minute break and we'll be back here for part 2.
Dude, I love that light on the P38 over multiplayer. That looks sweet. I never checked that out. Oh, Tux's Spit 5B is something archaic. AFKBRB, boys.
How are we all doing?
Okay. That flower is called lupin, Lupin, and it's keto grain, and it's meant to be you get about 14 grams of carbs, you know, compare with God knows what flour, normally flour is. Question for you, Alex. I've got a throttle quadrant, you know, the mixture, pitch and throttle. I can never get my head around which is coarse and which is fine. 100% it's marked up 100% or 0. Which way around is it in real world?
Fine is 0 and coarse should be 100.
So when you set off, which...
Well, depending on the aircraft, you should have it pushed forward and full course and then find it out.
Okay.
Well, again, depending on the aircraft, some of them you use it during, you pull it back during taxi to make sure you're not, because a lot of them with the turboprops you can just taxi on idle with the prop all the way back. But depends on the engine. If it's something like a PC9 or something like that, then it'll probably be able to taxi on full fine. But I don't know for the older stuff.
We're getting buzzed by a load of jets.
That's very nice of them.
How's your flying going? You doing it? Is it PP?
Yeah, trying to get the PPL done. I haven't done as much this year just because I need to get my medical fully sorted, and there's not much point. I can't go solo until the doctor's happy, so just enough to keep my hand in basically until that's sorted. I need to be less fat basically, which is annoying because I'm not that fat, but there you go.
I remember that when you said before. Best one was when I used to do gliding. Our chief flying instructor was an airline pilot, and his doctor prescribed some tablets which wasn't on the approved list for pilots, and he got suspended over the summer, his busiest time of the year. And he was quite happy because he could go gliding. But when they decided he should be returning to work, the medical was to go to Gatwick and run around the car park while they all watched him out of the window.
Yeah, I think a lot of them still. Well, I think it was that way up until about 5 or 6 years ago. Now you've got to go in and do a proper treadmill hooked up to an oxygen mask thing.
This is going back over 10 years.
Alright, should we taxi out the runway?
Yep.
We shall accept the kind locals' tribute to our presence. Nice of them to put on a show for us.
There's that ship in front in the beach.
Go out this one, go on the left runway again. What ship? I can't see one.
It's directly in front of the big white one.
Ah, ship at the end of the runway.
Oops.
I got a bit nervous there. I didn't think you were going to make the turn onto the runway.
Oops. Sorry, you didn't see it.
We should wait for Mr. Tux and then we'll head off. We've got 130 nautical miles to go, so we'll go at about 150 if that's alright for everyone. 150 knots.
Whatever works for you, sir.
Tell you what, we'll keep it up at 170 because it's easier for the high-powered stuff and gives us more time to do some sightseeing. Mr. Lux, let's start gently rolling. Seems I'm a bit slower than everyone else. It's going to be a right turn after departure. Not too violent, but climbing at the 3,000 feet, making a right turn to 268 GPS FMS.
Variety forever crossing threshold.
I was getting some weather funnies, so I've just done a refresh and stuck it as fair weather. That seems to be better for me if anyone wants to join. Otherwise, border of a high will still do fine. If anyone's interested, the flight time, the local time is showing as 18:15 local on my machine. If anyone's trying to replicate what I got, looks quite nice. See, this is what I wouldn't have got before. There are a shed load of OSM buildings and roads around here, and I'm still getting excellent frame rates.
Yeah, well, I'm getting about 20 at the moment. I have it pegged at 30.
Yeah, I'm getting a couple of little dips, 20, 28, 29, but it's mainly 30. Which is where it's pegged, but that seems to do a good job.
What graphics card have you got?
I got a 3080 Ti.
Yeah, so mine's an old 1660 NVIDIA. I'm doing that fantasy build your ideal PC on one of these online shops. I mean, it came out at $3.5 grand.
That's what I did. Here, last time I said I'm going to quit screwing around. I'm just going to build a computer and told a couple places, here's what I want. I want this Asus motherboard with this processor and this power supply and this case and these fans and this much RAM, and they all put it all together, and I went, guy called me up on the phone and goes, hey, your computer's ready. And I go, oh, that's cool, everything okay? And he goes, well, the text gave it a name, so.
Does it throb on the table?
Say again?
Does it throb on the table when it's running? Power in it?
Doesn't seem to.
I mean,
Do you know what I like about mine? It's a seriously powerful PC. The best thing about it is it just runs silent. It doesn't make any noise.
Mine's pretty quiet except for the fans if I get things really cooking, because I got a lot of audio. I use the same thing to run my audio studio and recording and stuff, and the fans will throttle up.
Mine was getting, because the one thing I didn't change when I bought all new components 2 years ago, I didn't change the case. I had the same case for years, and last year in the summer it was getting really warm, and I was, you know, I said to a friend of mine he's a really good PC tech, and I said, what can I do? I got water cooling, I got all the right fans, I got stuff, and he said, oh, send me a picture, and he said, case is just too fucking small. So I waited until one of the really big airflow design cases was on offer at the place I get all my stuff from, and I think I got this really, it's a huge case with a massive glass panel. It's a Corsair one, but it's just designed purely for airflow.
Yep.
And most of the PC case now is just space.
Yep.
And yeah, I think I paid about 70 quid for it, and it was brilliant. It's best
I
upgrade
think I got
I've
the
ever
same-
made, because
I
it
think I
did
got
just
the
turn it
same
silent.
case. I think I got the same case, man. Fan, 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 space, space, space.
yeah, well, I had to change the water cooler on the CPU. When the original one was a single water cooler, and it seemed to be working. And I could only get a double in. I can't get a triple in. It won't fit. But that, you know, that's really made a big difference.
Yeah, I got the cooler for the processor cooler and stuff like that. I think those are. I can overclock this thing, but I've never tried it.
Yeah, sometimes there's just no point, is there? I mean, let's be honest. FlightGear barely taxes stuff anyway. It doesn't. It's just not optimized enough to take advantage of the hardware. When you're buying lots of really good hardware to run FlightGear, you're mainly just sort of offsetting the fuckery that causes it to
Yeah.
run bad.
I gotta say, this last version, I'm pretty danged impressed with frame rates and performance. I have a lack of crashing. I don't think I've had a crash in forever.
I had one crash while I was doing scenery gathering during the week, but I was running the ortho gathering thing. I was gathering scenery, and I was refreshing the scenery because I was enjoying the scenery so much, the orthos as they were popping in. I was hitting scenery refresh from the debug menu about every 3 minutes, and I think eventually it just got sick of me interrupting what it was trying to do, and it crashed. So I didn't even begrudge it that one. I was like, okay, fair enough, I'm going to stop messing around now, and I ran it again. It's been fine since.
It just told you, that's enough of that.
Yeah, stop playing about. We got someone on the route ahead of us here, GNNRG in an ATR 72. Anyone know who that is?
I do not.
It might be nothing to do with us, but it seems a strange place to be with a G registration right on our route.
Usually fly with the sun this low. This is kind of cool, looking back behind me with the sun on my face.
Yeah, well, I did one of the scenery gathering flights with this exact time scale, and it just looked so good as I came into land at the final thing. I thought, well, I can't even plan it to look that good, so
Well, there you
let's
go.
see if it happens again.
There you go.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And when the snow falls from the sky and all your friends are passing by, you know it's going to be the best time of the year. Let your light shine bright tonight at the end of the year.
I made a big decision this last week. I have quit buying things from Amazon.
Oh my goodness. What was the problem?
Well, I rage quit them basically. I gave up. It was my daughter's birthday on Wednesday, and about a week before I ordered a load of things from Amazon for her, including a main birthday present, and A few things were running late, and it's fine, you know, that happens. I ordered it all like next day prime. It should have been there in plenty of time. But basically, some stuff was running late. It got to the day before her birthday, and they just messaged me and said, yeah, some stuff's going to be another week. And I was like, that's not good enough. I'm going to need something a little bit better than that. I said, or, you know, give me a refund. And they said, oh, okay. And the guy on the chat, he said, all right, I've processed your refund. It'll be 7 to 10 working days. And I said, do you know, I don't have enough money to go out and spend another £200 on presents when you've got my money and you can't tell me where this stuff is. And they were like, yeah, sorry, there's nothing we can do. So it ended up with my daughter not having half her presents for her birthday. And we're 6 days on, and they still haven't sorted the account out. They still haven't given me any sort of idea on when I'm going to be getting my refund. So I'm massively down on cash. We ended up messing up with my daughter's birthday. There's still some presents that I haven't been able to source replacements for until tomorrow morning. I'm getting some stuff delivered. So yeah, I had a disappointed 9-year-old, and me ending up in the mire with the cash, and Jeff Bezos couldn't give a shit. So I'm like, do you know what? The amount of money I've put your guys' ways over the year, and you couldn't give a damn. So that's it. I'm done, and I haven't ordered anything from Amazon for 6 days now, which has got to be a record.
No, I've never had that kind of I'm quite certain. I'm a big Amazon freaky deaky. I even get my prescriptions and stuff from them, my medicines and stuff. But if I ever had that kind of an encounter, I would probably do the exact same thing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was just that, you know, if the guy had come on and said, look, I'm really sorry, it's definitely not coming, but I will give you, like they've done every other time I've had a problem, is, you know, we've put it back in credit on your Amazon account. You order something and it'll be, you know, make sure it's on Prime and it'll be with you. And I'd have been fine with that, but it was just the, yeah, 7 working days and we're sorry, none of it's coming.
Yeah,
And that was the other thing, some of it was,
we
it
don't
might
care.
come, and you'll have to return it if it does come. And I'm just like, you're putting all the onus on me here, and I'm not having that.
Yeah, I got shit to do. My nephew's the same way. It's like a wee bit dead shit. Amazon.
I tend to mainly use eBay, but I bought that USB hub because it was the only place I could find it. But I'm not on Prime, so you pay the extra postage. But it does normally come next day. We're saying on the breakfast news this morning, the energy companies in the UK are sitting on 8 billion in owed credit. And if you try and get it back off them, they do the same trick.
It's a weird world, guys.
Well, they're very fast at taking it off you, but they don't like giving it back.
I don't know. As a guy who was in customer service, field service for my entire working career, I don't have a whole lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have a lot of empathy for these companies that don't realize. It's like I told the company I worked for at the end, why do people buy shit from you? Because we're this and that. No, they buy it from you because of your customer service, because you support this stuff. It's anybody can sell stuff cheapo, but when things go wrong, that's when you shine. That's how you retain clients.
Yeah, every time. That's all it's got to ever be.
Yeah, exactly. People can buy that stuff anywhere, but they buy it from you because you support them. Stop supporting them, they'll buy it from someone else. Your customer service, your service people, those are your lifeblood. I mean, there's a billion retailers out there. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, exactly. I will mainly judge a company on how they respond to a problem rather than just, the everyday. Anyone can ship anything next day these days, but it's when there's a problem that, that's when it all shines through.
Yep.
What's
and
it
how-
like in
and how they deal with
America
it.
with, because in the UK where I live, the town, there's no shops left other than phone shops, charity shops, and mobile phone shops and nail
Coffee
bars.
shops, don't forget coffee shops.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Donut shops.
But is it the same in America?
Yep. Yep. Everybody's like, if you're looking for professionals, like, if you're looking for plumbers, if you're looking for carpenters, if you're looking for people to do fencing, if people do bathroom remodeling, it doesn't really matter what you do. Car mechanics, oil changes, anything technical in nature, you have no choice because they can't find anybody that can do it. Just like
I might
we've
mention before, I got a friend who runs a company in Colorado. He moved out there from here about 5 years ago, and he set up a company doing electric vehicle chargers and solar arrays for light commercial and residential. And the company's going from strength to strength, but he cannot find staff. There's just no staff, and he's trying to expand, and he's got all these projects, and he says it's a problem I've never seen before, but it's just I can't find anyone that is willing to do the work to the level the work needs to be done to be trained or anything like that. There's no one that wants a job doing this kind of stuff, despite the fact I'm willing to pay them over the odds because I need them so badly.
Yep, it's the same here. I think it's the same all over many places. The world has changed now. We've got, I don't know what it is. I mean, we've spent so many decades back in my dad's day, back in my day when we started, used to bring in people who had an interest and an aptitude to do what you were doing. In my case, it was fixing televisions and electronics. And you'd find someone who was interested in that, and you'd build a technician from the ground up. You'd teach them, you'd nurture them, you'd pay them, you'd move them up. Now they just throw you to the wolves, and if you can't cut it, it's like, I don't know how we got where we are now. I really don't. I don't get it.
Well, I work with apprentice electricians, and apart from a few occasional ones, most of them they're just so slapdash, and the things what I had to do when I was their age, they just won't have it. And
We're gonna make a slight right turn in, gents.
Following you, sir.
Do you find that Ollie? I mean, when I was at school, like 2000 and whatever, and there was the kids that went off to be apprentice electricians and plumbers, and we all kind of, they were like, oh, look at the thickos going off to do that while we're doing proper lessons still. And then within 5 years, they were the ones with the nice cars and the houses that were all paid off, and their own businesses that are earning good money and their own apprentices.
Same here.
Are they not like that anymore?
well, the ones who have got something about it, because I've been doing it 16 years, and a lot of them have come back and set their own companies up, and they're sending their own apprentices to us. But some of the current ones, you know what I mean? You get a lot of them what work for the parents, who the mummy still has to wipe the bottoms for them, and they know they're not going to get sacked. But it's just attention to detail. They can't fill a form incorrectly. They can't use, if they're filling writing stuff, they can't use capital letters for names and stuff. And filling in like test certificates, it has to be per the regulations. And I keep telling them, if they don't do it properly, they'll fail the they have an endpoint assessment, what they have to pass when they get to the end. And if they don't fill forms incorrectly, they'll fail the testing section.
I find that, I found that while I'm still, because I've been retired for getting on 2 years now, but I found that the younger techs and stuff that were involving themselves can't articulate, they can't document, they can't spell, they can't conjugate, they don't understand the language.
No, some of them, you see the handwriting, and the handwriting reminds me of what it was like when I was at primary school when I was 5 years old.
Exactly, they can't communicate.
And that podcast you put me on to, that unconventional soldier, and the selection for that, the special OPs, what was that all about? Attention to detail. These characters won't even, they'll just get sent home within 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, the problem is you can't send them home because there's no one else to do it. Here locally, most of my neighbors, because of storm damage or whatever, getting new roofs, getting new siding, blah, 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 blah. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 houses in this neighborhood. And part of this time, the crews were working at triple digits, 100 degrees. This morning they were out there in the rain, and I mean, these guys are doing really, really decent work putting siding on houses, re-roofing and stuff like that. And one of my neighbors is like, how come all these crews are Mexican people? I said, have you been watching these guys work? He goes, no, that's not my question. My question is why are all these, how come there's no Americans doing these jobs? How come these people are all, you know, someplace else? And I said, go ask them.
Well, I had that on Monday. The college I work at is getting clad in insulation and rendering to make it warmer. And I'm interested in doing that to my house, and I wanted to ask them what the thickness of the insulation they're putting it on. And I asked these guys who are working near the ground floor, and everyone couldn't understand me because they're all Polish or whatever.
They don't speak English.
The people doing the rendering on the, because from the distance, because it was all fenced off, I couldn't see whether it was 3 inches or 4 inch a rock wall.
Yeah, it's hard to get people who actually want to. It sounds bad when you say it's hard to find people that actually want to do the hard work, and I don't know if it is that. I don't want to say that people just don't want to work hard anymore, but it's very hard to find people that don't want to come in and do. I guess it's what they see, isn't it? They see people come in and do very little work and end up with getting a lot of money for it, and perhaps they don't understand that either that's something you've got to get to a point with, or it's something that very few people get to experience.
I don't know how we got where we are. I don't know how we get out of here. I don't know how we fix this.
That's the thing. It's like with my work, there's this stuff I do. I mean, I make websites and software and do e-commerce shit for people, and I could spend so much more of my time these days doing doing that consultative work and things like that. There's things that people are asking me to do which I would get a lot more money for, and would be a lot better use of my time, and I could have a bigger impact for them. But I can't leave the rest of the business because I can't find people that actually want to do that stuff, that want to do the day-to-day slog of managing people's data and working out strategies and things like that. The kind of thing that even 5-10 years ago I'd have had people all over the place jumping at me to come and do. but they're not there anymore. They're like, oh no, well we just want to do social media posts for people. You can get 1 billion people to come and do social media posts, but you try and get someone to do, you know, not even data entry or stuff like that. It's more, they only want to do the very, very easy, the very visual, the stuff that they think is interesting or cool.
Well, don't we all?
Well, yeah, I get that. I get maybe, but I'd like to think that people have an appreciation that it's their overall job that means that there are the good bits. You don't get to do the good bits without the bad bits.
I don't think anybody cares. I don't think we've nurtured people to derive satisfaction from doing a good job. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I feel old. I mean, the things that I used in my business for 20 some years and brought technicians in, functioned as chief technician, as president of the corporation. I had people there who made more money than the president chief technician did because I needed them. And they asked me, my accountant asked me that, what are you doing? I said, I need them. This is what, I can't do this all by myself, neither can you.
Yeah, without them, there is no other bits.
I'm gonna die. What's going on?
You okay? You're flying off.
Are we gonna climb here or what?
No, we're going around it. It's going to wiggle around this little bit. In the valley.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here.
It's like flight gear though, isn't it? It's not a dissimilar thing. There's no one that wants to jump in and tackle a load of systems behind an aircraft or, you know, even 3D modelling and things like that. Well, it takes too long. And I include myself in that. I've been trying to learn 3D modelling since 1998. Still can't do it.
The guy that did all the jets, Dave Culp, tutored me on. We actually got to the point where I made a 3D model of a missile one time, and before I went like, this is fruitless, man. I'm never gonna be able to do this.
Yeah, that is. I remember I spent. Well, it was back in 2001. I think I was working a job, and I bought myself a laptop to take into work. So on my breaks and my lunchtime, I could follow a course I was doing for 3D modeling, and I can't remember the name of the software. It was like AC3D. Very, very similar, and you know, I just followed this tutorial. It took me about 8 months, and I made a model of a F-22 Raptor, and I showed it to a friend, and he was like, "That's shit.
What is it?
That's really bad."
What is it?
Yeah, and the thing was, I'd followed it, and I'd made one side of it, and like the other was just flat, because that was all the 3 views I had. I just don't have the brain that allows me to extrapolate the one side to the other from what I'm seeing. If I can't follow it, I can't do it.
And then I discovered the fact that there are thousands upon thousands of discarded 3D models that are sitting out there doing nothing because they were originally designed for a platform that no longer exists.
There's a difference with 3D modelling. I used to be an engineer in past life, and I worked at a company making caravan trailer hitches, and they designed using a program called SolidWorks for 3D modelling. And that was really easy to use because it was like you start with a solid cylinder, and then you take a smaller cylinder away for the null. And it was really, you could see what you were doing, and it was quite straightforward. Whereas using AC3D and Blender, that's just like another bloody world.
Blender's a nightmare. I mean, if you're really get this stuff, Blender is awesome. If you're like trying to figure out how to make this go for you, Blender will just overwhelm you in 6 seconds. I can't make Blender do anything. I can make all kinds of shit in AC3D. Blender's just got too much shit in the sack.
Okay, we're descending 1,500 feet. This place we're coming up to is our final destination for the evening. And I've had a message from Stuart, who is managing to watch some of Flight Night. And I'll read the message verbatim. He says, "God, you lot are dull."
Supposed to be here flying it, not watching it, Bone Man.
Tell him we're missing his sparkling inputs.
Stuart, we're missing your what was it, Ollie?
Sparkling inputs.
We landing straight in, or are we coming in from the other way?
We're going to come in from the other way.
Thank you, sir.
It might be a different person now he's had his holiday.
No.
Would we want a different person?
I would not want a different person. I love Stu just the way he... I love you just the way
he's typing now. He says, "Sparkling my ass." Which is nice.
Always got his ass or the sparkling?
I don't know. He might mean he got a tattoo on holiday and now it's all sparkly.
No.
Okay, let's circle back in over the town and we'll come and make our landing.
Freaking dark, boss.
It's sunset. It's beautiful. On one side, anyway.
Anyway, it should be good in the future with this AI. We just set it going and it'll do all this automatically for us.
Yeah, it does a pretty good job. I've been playing with it a lot, and it does some nice stuff. The only thing is, if you don't put much in, you don't get much out. It's not dark, Stuart. It's sunset. It's very clearly sunset.
There's a time difference as well.
Well, he's watching my feed, and it's very clearly sunset.
Where are we parking up? Or by the flags?
Yeah.
Hey! Oh, this is cool, man. Sun's so low, I can see my aircraft shadow on the door of this on the door of this hangar. Wow, how come you guys are way up in the air? You don't got the right scenery.
Yeah, you're down there. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing Flash and let me see, where's Avionics? You're on the ground. Whoa, except your aircraft is huge. What is that? Oh my god, you're like a giant commander. Something weird went on, kids.
Have you got the Mirage behind the flags?
I do not have a Mirage loaded, so it's green. Am I below the scenery? Oh, you're above it too.
Yeah, you're below everything.
Huh. See, because I loaded everything from TerraSync.
That's strange.
Very odd. It's flight gear. Dun, ba, da, da.
Well, there we go. Look at that. Didn't we do well?
We did do well. Kudos. Good flight planning, good route, beautiful scenery, good camaraderie, good people all around. Nobody giving us crap like Stuart always does. I mean, what? How did he get the place operated while he was gone for this period of time?
There had some family running it for a few days, but it was closed for most of it.
Oh.
Well, there we go. Thank you for coming along, everybody.
Thank you for plotting and planning and making it happen, sir. You are a god!
Well, I don't like to say, but yes, I am. Would anybody like to take next week?
I'll take next week.
Thank you, Vidu.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, say goodnight to Twitch.
Say goodnight to the folks at YouTube.
Night, Twitch and YouTube.
Nighty night. Sleep tight. Don't let no bed bugs bite. Wow!
That was good enough as a point, Zenny.
Was that out loud?
It normally is.